Hi, welcome to Yo Soy Neighborhoods, Fresno. My name is Edna Collins, and thank you for watching. I'm hoping that we're bringing you informational items that you can use at home, making your decisions in business or voting or having to do with the city in any way. If you have a particular subject that you would like us to investigate, please give us a call at 226-1521. That is a 559 area code. Today we have Marty Aubin. And right now what we want to do is reintroduce ourselves. And we're going to start over here with Anita.
Hello, my name's Anita Fernandez, and I'm a CMAC member. We're broadcasting from CMAC, and I'd like to thank CMAC for this time. I've been in broadcasting since the 70s.
Yes. Vanush?
Hi, I'm Vanush Kachadurian. I'm a lifetime Valley resident, second out of 4 generations, and involved with the arts, helping to start Lively Arts Foundation, medical sales, and on the board of a private school. So education, health, arts is kind of the hot buttons for me.
Hi, I'm Mickey Addison. I'm a member of CMAC. I thank them. I'm a member of Sisters in Crime and BAWAPA. I'm the secretary for West Fresno Democratic Club, and I have a book coming out soon called Be Still and Be Quiet. It's a parental guidebook. You probably should look for it around May. Thank you.
And then we have announcements. Anita, go ahead.
Okay, well, I would like to start with tomorrow, the 30th, there is going to be a music show at Fulton 55. It's Valley Music Hall of Fame. One of the performers will be Debbie Rood, who is fabulous. If you've ever heard her sing, she's incredible. Debbie Rood and the Lost Souls. They'll be performing authentic 60s and 70s soul and Motown music.
Good era.
Showtime is 7:30.
There you go.
Whoa.
Do they have a fee or?
No, it's free. Go. Go
Free,
see it.
go. Fulton 55 tomorrow.
Fulton 55 tomorrow.
Everything from
7:30.
Motown to whatever, huh?
That's right.
It's got the Diana Ross.
What a
and
deal. You
Supremes.
can't
Yes.
beat that.
You can't beat
Everybody
it.
but, what's his name, Gordy, that headed it.
It is a
Very Gordy.
fundraiser.
Yes.
It is a fundraiser for Valley Music Hall of Fame.
So if you want to
bring
donate,
your wallet.
yeah, if you want to donate, you donate.
Yes. Bring
It's
the
a tax
wallet.
write-off, 'cause it's a nonprofit.
You're
What
next.
announcements do you have?
I have 2. Tomorrow there is a youth job fair at a charter school called Agape Charter Schools, and they have a media center there called the Carter Woodson Media Center, and it's for 16 to 21-year-olds. It's at 4880 North 1st Street. Again, that's 4880 North 1st Street. So I know they're very locked in with CMAC here too, because they actually have a media center there. So you 16 to 21-year-olds, fix yourself up, get in there and learn some skills on how to find a job, what skills to use, in your interviewing. Secondly, next Thursday, April 4th. What is it?
April 4th.
Not April Fool's
Not
Day.
April Fools. Art Hop! First Thursday of the month. So just a little shout out to, we have a display here, correct? And it's
Yes.
open?
Yes.
Yes. It's open
Starts
to the
at about
public.
5:30. It's not a big window period to see 80 some odd venues. So, map it out and see them.
A little something on that.
Right.
We're going to have a photography exhibit, and it's going to
Photography.
be fabulous.
So you photographers out there, don't miss it. It'll be-
Natalie Nigg and Dominic from the desk
Perfect.
here, right here.
Right.
in
CMAC.
CMAC.
Awesome, yeah.
Both photographers.
And then, other places like Fresno Arts Council on Van Ness, and you can actually get a map there. They may have maps here too.
They have
so
them
you can,
online.
To map, you can look
have
online
them
to
online.
map it out because trust me, you're not going to be able to see them all in that 3-hour window
Yeah,
period.
and no, it gets
No.
really, really busy.
I
and
try
it's a
to
fun time.
I try to see something different each time, but I've got my little favorites out there.
And then are we going to have the lowdown too?
I believe so.
Okay.
And it's shot live from right here in the studio.
So you get to see a
It's
live
fabulous.
fun show being filmed. You get to see photography.
Great
Good
audience
to go.
participation with
And
that.
it might even be some tidbits to eat. And one more shout out, my friend here, Mickey just had a new addition to her family. So I just wanted to
Oh,
say
that's right.
congratulations.
Thank
I'm not going to say what generation it is because she'll probably kick me under the
No,
table.
I'm a great grandmother for two times.
Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous?
Baby was born day before yesterday. So
It's an honor.
oh, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
It goes by so quick. and it's
I'm
so
already
nice.
losing track, and the kids already an extra day older.
So you have two?
Yes, I have two announcements. The first one is West Fresno Family Resource Center presents its free event, all ages. It's an Easter egg hunt, Wednesday, April 17th, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Food and prizes. It's at the Maxie Park Community Center on California Avenue to do your walk-in. If you want to call for more information, it's 559-621-2968. Again, that's an Easter egg hunt, April 17th at Maxie Park's Community Center. My second announcement is 2019 skateboard summer camps. They're open for they're encouraging 7 and up because they want parents to get involved. There are 3 camps. The first one starting in June 17th to the 21st. That's at Todd Beamer Skate Bike Park. Second session, July 8th to July 12th at Lions Skate Park. The third session at Todd Beamer Skate Bike Park again, it's July 22nd to July 26th. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to noon. So let me see, you walk in to the Ted C. Wills Community Center or you call 559-621-7529. I hope you got all that. And it's called the 2019 Skateboard Summer Camp.
Okay.
And was there a
Sounds
fee on
like
that?
Summertime fun.
Was it a fee?
This one requires a fee.
Small fee. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
What fun.
when you call, you'll get more information.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Good.
great. That sounds good. Lots of things that happening
Fun
out in
things.
Fresno. Don't have a big price tag, so come out and join the fun.
Check it
and-
out. Check it
yeah,
out. You
yeah.
will be
So
happy.
today we have Marty Aubin. I hope I'm saying that right. He's a former Bakersfield police officer. And as he responded to me, he says, we learned everything back then, so they didn't have specialty sections like we have now. So, but a very well-trained individual, and he's going to lead you through some protective,
Maneuvers?
yeah, I guess you would say maneuvers.
Resources.
How to and
Skills.
not to, and how to get out of a situation, a touchy situation, whether it's an active shooter, intruder, at home or at a business. So we're going to take a couple of minutes break and watch the screen because he's also given us a little PowerPoint so you can view. And if you have any questions, please give us a call at 559-226-1521. So we're going to be right back. Thank you.
Who the heck knows where 45,
Yeah, go sit over there.
Fields is? Give the question.
Wait, am I moving?
security consultant for the last 18 years. After a divorce, I moved up north and ended up here in Fresno about 3 years ago.
Oh, how exciting. That's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
That's good, good. So why don't you give us a little bit of the start? I know that you, on your PowerPoint, you start from the beginning. However, give us the situation.
Well, what I specialize in workplace violence prevention. A lot of law enforcement agencies and other people train survival, and I preach prevention rather than just survival.
Okay.
Because by the time something happens, it's really too late, and prevention's obviously much better.
Right, okay. And in the prevention, I know that I've seen your program before. One of the things I noticed, it was using monitors along the path of in and out.
Well, yes, there are two types of prevention. The first type involves intervening before anyone even attempts to do anything, which really deals with recognizing people who are potentially going to create some kind of a violent situation. And the second part is physical security, which is what you're talking about, where you have a security system, multi-level security system that prevents them from getting to you before they can be stopped.
Okay. So kind of run through the first one and give us some examples or...
Okay. Typically, the people, specifically active shooters, these incidents are on the rise, and a lot of people have misconceptions about who they are and why they do it. A lot of people think it's someone that just snapped, and typically that's not the case. Most of the time, this is from FBI statistics and a recent study that they did. Most of the time, it's someone who feels that they've been mistreated in some way, either by a group or an individual, might be an employer, might be coworkers, might be a minister in a church. And when you couple their feelings of misuse along with some other problems in their lives, such as financial problems, marital problems, those type of things, they become, in many cases, suicidal. And their thought pattern is, I want to die, but I'm going to take someone with me. And so they tend to plan these things ahead, sometimes days, weeks, even months ahead of time.
Like the Vegas guy.
Right.
That was like over years, wasn't it?
I think it might have been, it's a little iffy, but it was a long time.
So in other words,
planned it.
you'll probably see it in their behavior pattern over time, that they
Right.
might be subject to this kind of behavior.
Exactly, and there are a number of things to look for. Don't really have time to go through all of them here, but when people learn to recognize these signs in their coworkers or their friends, this type of thing, then they need to report it to law enforcement or someone with the authority to further investigate what's going on with them. Few of the things, by no means not all, but a few of the things are people, what they call leakage, where they talk to their friends. They might say, oh, I'd like to shoot so-and-so, that type of thing. Other things are they can become abusive with fellow employees, they can be bullies, this type of thing. And there are a number of criteria to look for. And these are called stressors, and each one of these active shooters on average has 3 separate stressors that have all built up inside of them.
Oh, okay, so it's a period of time, in other words, no matter what, it's over a period of time.
Almost always.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, and is there any particular age group or just all over the place?
No, there is no demographic that actually covers all of them. Statistically, white males in their 20s or in their 40s have done most of these, but this is nothing that you can rely on.
Okay. Do you mind if the other ladies
Sure.
ask a question? Do you want to go ahead, Amina?
Well, I'm really concerned as a mom about the school shootings. And I really sympathize with people that have had to cope with these. So it seems to me in a case like that, it would be really difficult to monitor if somebody has been a student there and is no longer a student there, like a few of these things that have happened. And so it's kind of, how would they predict a thing like that?
Well, if it's someone who's still a student there, and this happens quite often, other students hear them saying things, or they monitor their social media accounts, those type of things, and then they bring it to the attention of the school officials or the law enforcement. If it's someone who's left the school and nobody has predicted that they're going to do this, that's where physical security comes into play, to prevent them from actually coming onto the school grounds and causing violence. It could be fencing, metal detectors, any number of things. But there's a set way of overlapping physical security to make it work correctly, and very few institutions are really aware of how to do it correctly.
Okay, so when you say that, what would correctly be?
Well, basically, the way layered security works, physical security, is you might have, just as a simple example, you might have a locked gate, a locked door, another locked door, a long pathway to another locked door, and on the outside you would have something like an alarm or camera that would alert you that this person's trying to gain access. And by the time this person gets through the locked gate, the locked door, and gets all the way around there, it's designed to delay him long enough to get law enforcement or security there to stop him.
That sounds interesting. We could do that on
That
the
sounds
schools.
reasonable.
Sure.
Escape routes where nowhere to go.
The metal detectors, do they put them in the schools after the fact, or all schools are getting them slowly but surely?
Well, for the most part, people in general don't like the idea of metal detectors in schools, just because they think it looks bad. It looks bad for the school. Some people say it scares the students. Some students say, yeah, it scares them. Others say they feel better.
More
Yeah.
secure.
Yeah.
And we do have campus police too on some
Well,
campuses as well.
We do. Unfortunately, you typically have one for the
Right.
entire campus, and he's very seldom in the right position to stop someone. He's out doing his job like he should be doing. So, I mean, he's definitely necessary, but
One person.
one person without any physical security is just not a winning situation.
So staffing could have used more security,
Absolutely.
bodies,
maybe-
more bodies.
Right.
Maybe cameras too? I mean,
Cameras, but and cameras are fantastic, but
Who's
when the camera
monitoring?
sees something, or someone's watching a monitor sees it, then what do? You still have to have the security staff.
well, there would be
Protocol in
maybe
place,
communication, some sort,
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
communication is huge.
Yeah, like radios or,
Yeah, but the thing is the police, even on their best day, it takes maybe 4 to 5 minutes for them to get there. And in many of these cases, these mass shootings are over in less than 4 to 5 minutes. So it's up to the institution, the business, whatever it is, to take steps to
to
protect themselves.
I have a question, one more before we get to the news. Those who are suicidal by cops or however, don't they sometimes give a red flag when they start giving their possessions away, things that they care about?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's a signal.
It is, and there are a number of signals that you need to look for. Typically not just one thing, but one can lead to another and to another. And one of the problems is a lot of people, whether they're a friend or a coworker, they don't want to say anything.
They don't want to cause trouble.
Right, they don't want to cause trouble. They're trying to keep the peace. And these days, they shouldn't be that way.
No.
It's too important.
Yeah,
Do you have
well,
a
I can
question?
understand the preventative is absolutely necessary, and what your role would play in, mapping out escape routes and I'm thinking in the top of my head, we always used to do fire drills in school. Remember that?
Yes,
Remember that?
had to.
Why isn't this incorporated into a fire drill? Where to go, what route to
Active
do, what
shooter.
steps to take, what protocol,
Well,
what to do. And then also the reporting is very important.
yeah.
I mean, you find yourself, you joke around, oh, Mickey, I feel like just punching him in the mouth. It's like, you have to kind of almost watch what you say anymore, too.
Or you can just try to figure out how much do they mean that,
Yeah.
or is they just being flippant?
Or they're just
their intention.
obsessed about it, over and over again.
Well, and law
yeah.
enforcement would do an investigation to find out just how serious
How
the problem
serious it
might be.
is,
They would
yeah.
look at social media, they would talk to friends and relatives, they would look at the person's past history, that type of thing.
But I like this preventative. I think it's really important that be incorporated into a lot of areas. I would think even insurance companies would offer to pay for some
Training?
corporations, even the city of Fresno, some of the outlets there to have this type of thing.
Well,
in
that makes
place.
sense.
Because
Possibly.
insurance,
Right,
yeah. It's,
right. Save
Yeah.
dollars.
To get
Yeah.
back to Vanusha's idea of a drill, do they have an active shooting drill going
They do.
on?
A lot of schools do.
Elementary?
Now, the thing is that the drill is basically what to do. That's not prevention. This is when something happens,
Oh, yes.
and then they execute the
Reaction.
drill. And by the time the first shot's fired, it's almost too late. Yeah, the drills can save a lot of people, but it's not going to save everyone. And also, some shooters are getting more educated these days. There was one not too long ago where he went to a school, started shooting, they executed their drill, he knew what they were going to do, he stood outside a door waiting for him to come out and just started
Right.
shooting them.
As
Well,
they
like
came
in
out.
the movie theater shooter, remember he had his weapon stashed outside the exit door of the theater, came in, paid a ticket, sat down, went to the exit door, it was propped open, grabbed his gun, and he was ready to go.
And they
now
may-
they're searching you now over some of the theaters.
Yeah, and a shooter may do things like chaining doors closed, emergency exit doors
Exit.
and those kinds of things. They do plan ahead. Yeah.
I mentioned to you earlier, I'd met, when this whole thing with the going postal came
Yes,
out.
that phrase.
I was actually sitting in a restaurant and had a meeting up in San Francisco near the airport, and there was a woman, she said, there's no place to sit, may I sit here? Ah, sure, no problem. Come to find out, she was one of the head HR people for the U.S. Postal Service. So, of course, naturally, the first thing out of my mouth was, tell me about all these shootings, the going postal. She goes, well, she kind of wrote it off to, we were on a real strong kick of hiring a lot of ex-military. And I said, so are you saying they have PTSD? She goes, they do, or it's underlining and then something at work stresses them out, or maybe they have a superior that's younger than them, really putting them through the grindstone, and they just
Snap.
snapped, and they weren't getting the proper
Right. And those things coupled with
counseling.
other things in their lives that
Sure.
are going wrong. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Could
So
be.
Going Postal had its origination in post office shootings?
I guess.
Yeah,
That's when I
as
first
far
heard
as I
about it.
know, yeah.
Yes, first heard about it. And you know, there was a great movie, Denzel Washington. What was that movie? John Q. Citizen, where he ended up being a workplace violence, but his was because they were not taking care of his son. He was so
Yes,
frustrated
right.
with
With
the
the
system, and
insurance
he was going to make
company.
sure that everybody understood that
Yes.
this is not right. You don't
Right,
treat
right,
children
right,
this way, or
right.
somebody that's sick this
Right.
way.
He
Well,
chained the
typically they
doors
always
and all.
they don't focus on the institution, they focus on a particular person or a group of people.
Interesting.
So they don't just walk in and start shooting everybody. They're focused on their boss or their supervisor
or
or a
ex-wife.
coworker that insulted them or something. And on their way to get that person, the others are just
Collateral.
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, collateral damage,
so
they call it.
This one that happened in is it New Zealand?
Yes,
recently?
the recent one, yes.
Yeah,
It
wasn't that just
necessary workplace violence, though?
That was the
was-
mosque. That was a mosque.
Yeah,
Mosque.
it
Yeah,
was
the
hard.
same thing applies though, because
Religion.
yeah, this person probably perceived that this particular religion was doing something to harm him or his way of life or something along those lines. So that probably
And no
was
different from the
involved.
church shootings, yeah, just opposite.
Yeah.
So we did have one here not too long ago downtown Fresno, and it was a doctor's office, and they had to rope off the whole area around Community Hospital. Were you living here when that happened?
I don't think so.
And it was actually her husband
Oh, the
Remember that one? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was a
and it
few
just-
years back.
Almost the hospital just kind of like almost had to shut down business. It hurt.
They killed
I mean,
her.
the ramification, how it hurts other people, not just the intended target, can be astronomical.
Oh, the trauma of seeing something like that.
That too.
That you're going to have
Yes.
PTSD behind
Right.
it.
Right.
So mental health, we need all the funding we can get because these people need services.
Well, and that's one of the big problems with prevention is funding.
Funding, the
Schools, you know, they're hurting for money as it is. A lot of businesses, they don't want to spend the money. Typically in the security business, people don't want to do anything until after something happens.
After the fact.
Then they're willing to spend
Then
the
there's
money
lawsuits and it
for
costs
the
more.
short time. Right.
Yes.
And so it's a cost-effective measurement, really, to ounce of prevention
So
worth a pound of
Would
cure.
it be a good idea, since most of the, as you pointed out, we're tight on our budgets? I know that when we were in elementary school, I can remember having door monitors down the
Oh my
hall
gosh,
Mhm.
yeah.
to make sure, you know, all the kids were out of the bathroom, back to class, or whatever needed to be lead back to their class, getting
Mhm.
confused. So should we go back to doing that and have
All
mommy drills?
monitored.
Well, one of the
I like
things that
that.
I preach is that you can have a security team. By security team, I don't mean gun-toting, shoot 'em out kind of people, but people like that, made up of volunteers. At a business, typically you'll find plenty of volunteers willing to get involved and work on this. So there are ways around spending a lot of money on it, but they need, I'm not trying to plug myself here, but they need someone with the expertise to set it up correctly, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah, protocol.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I
So
agree.
go down the list, 1, 2, 3 through 10, and
Yeah,
set it
just
up.
putting a bunch of people out there is not going to do it. They
Right.
have to do it right.
And they would have to do that, I mean, set up the program, and then you'd have to revisit every so often to make sure that it's working
Well,
properly.
and when I say a security team, that would be one of the responsibilities. The security team would do the planning, the implementation, and the rechecking as time goes on and adjusting to whatever needs they are. So the security team would actually be a more of, you know, an executive branch of the business or whatever institution it is. And these would be their responsibilities, along with maybe doing foot patrols. And with training, yeah, they can be armed if that's what they want to do.
Does California allow security to have weapons like they do in Florida or something like that? Because in some states, all security wear has firearms, but not in California, I
Well,
don't think.
There's some different areas there, but typically security guards in California do need to be licensed separately to carry firearms or a baton or mace or those types of things. But they can.
So they
can.
would get their own personal license, is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you-
Uh-huh.
Would
have
it
to be
help to also offer like arm-to-arm combat, how to, you know, even, I know there's self-defense classes for women, or at least, you know, come
Well,
in
those-
as a,
Those are fine.
Yeah, to know how to
I'm all
disarm
for,
somebody,
and
or-
you're getting into the area of survival rather than
Right.
prevention, and that's great. I know a lot of people in Fresno have CCW permits. They carry firearms. But here's the thing: even if you have a gun, an active shooter comes in. Okay, you have a gun. You're on equal terms with that person.
Mm-hmm.
In a gunfight, you don't want to be on equal terms. You want to be superior
above.
to that person.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with
Right.
you. So how to disarm them, you know, things like that, armed
I mean,
combat.
things like what you're talking about is great as a last resort.
Mm-hmm.
If you're cornered, you can't do anything else, then maybe that'll
So it
give you a
sounds like,
chance.
I mean, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're saying to have coworkers and students really be cognizant of, you know, he keeps saying how he wants to hurt this person, and I don't understand it. He keeps saying it over and over again. To be able to speak up, say something.
Well, Homeland
know-
Security has a program called See Something, Say Something.
Right. You hear that when you get off the
Okay. And
subway
that's
in
what
New
it's all
York.
about.
Yeah.
Right.
The public, everyone, this is how they're going to prevent this. They're going to put a stop to these things. The entire public needs to be
all of us
aware,
do. Yeah.
Yes.
observant,
Right.
and then they need to do something. They need to say something to authorities.
If
See
you
something,
see
say
something,
They can't just
it could
pretend.
be a duffel bag or a backpack that doesn't belong.
Sure. We just
you
need
know.
to stop being so complacent. We've had it too good for too long.
I agree with you.
So it's
catch it on
we
the-
need to
yeah.
speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the
Absolutely.
And that
problems
goes,
that we're having
carry
with
that
the
over to
social
children
media.
need to be able to
Right.
speak up if someone's touching them inappropriately.
Right.
They should be able to
Sure.
have somebody at the school that they trust, that they can come tell them, look, you know, I'm being
Well, they
touched in
have
a
to be
certain way."
educated in the
Yeah.
proper what to watch
Yeah.
for,
Right.
and so
Right.
that goes along with the drills. I would think.
Well, and a lot of the
There's a lot
problem
of
in
stress on
schools
teachers
is
now.
the social atmosphere, their peer pressure. That's just huge in school violence, in both in preventative and recognizing it, because it's just, you know, they don't want to be a rat. They don't want to turn somebody in, because then all of their friends, they're afraid might, you know, look down on them. Or,
This last shooting that, you know, Nita had mentioned about school shootings, but you also see a ripple effect of about 5 after that.
Suicides.
Yeah,
And,
the
you know,
suicides.
Sure.
And arrests. This one, right now, we're taking them in, we're not putting up with it. There was like 5 or 6 schools right after that. So I'm wondering if we've made it too cool in society. Hey, I'm gonna, you know, shoot it up, and then they don't really understand the ramifications. Is if you, when you do this, you're gonna be arrested, kid.
They
Well-
don't care about the ramifications. They're beyond that by the time they pick up a gun and head for school. That's
I also have
But does
a
somebody do a
problem.
repeat? That's what I'm saying is have we become so numb in society that now this is like, okay.
Accepted
And it goes back to your
No.
education. We got to educate that it's
Education.
Well,
nuts,
and also
you know,
the media needs to stop
overplaying it.
Glorifying it.
glorifying
Glorifying
it
it,
more or
yeah.
less. I heard one news broadcast where they said, "Oh, this shooter set a new record." Well, that's challenging
That's a
people to
terrible
break the
phrase.
record.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I do like it when they refuse to say the perpetrator's name.
I do too.
Yeah.
To give them the...
We're not giving
the-
no more glory.
Yeah.
You don't even remember
Right.
the victims'
Right.
names. You remember the Timmy McVeighs or whoever,
Right,
you know,
right.
of the world.
Right.
So sometimes they just shut that down.
Well, I
His
think
name
that's a
is-
good thing, because
Yes.
we don't
It
need
has
to
And I
glorify
don't believe
it
they
at
can
all.
profit off
Right.
that anymore. Anybody in their
Exactly.
family off of a book or a movie
Yeah,
anymore. I think they
because
took that
that
away as
brings
well.
it rolling, keeps it rolling, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
What makes it acceptable to others? Like, oh, that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Now, in a home, now I've noticed now we're having things, people here in Fresno not too long ago, people getting shot up at home. So what do we do
Are you talking
about that?
drive-by- are you talking about
should we
drive-by?
have
Drive-bys or
a-
domestic?
Well,
violence?
it's the same basics, just on a smaller scale. You need to be aware of what's going on around your home. A lot of shootings in homes they weren't directed at that home. They're maybe the neighbor's home. Maybe there's gang activity. Shoot at somebody walking down the street and it hits somebody in the house, that type of thing. So you need to be aware of what's going on around you. If you drive through the really poor part of town where all the crime is, and you look at the people that are on the street, they're staring at everyone and every car. They're aware, because to survive there, they have to be that way, and
Right.
we need to start being a little more that way also.
Because they're like hypertension. They got hypertension. They're like they're on pins and needles, or until they go to bed, or until all the activity and all the moving around has stopped.
Well, and they know how dangerous it is there, and a lot of us don't.
Right. So Marty, in our last couple of minutes that we have, could you give the audience some high points of what you would do, like if they're at home or in a business, small business, what would be your best advice for them to start activating some kind of program within their unit?
Well, either sit down by themselves or hire someone with security expertise and put together. First thing you need to do is look at what you have to lose, how vulnerable you are, and then you need to put together a certain plan to prevent that. And it's not really something that's that easy to just say on the spur of the moment.
Right. No.
But if they can't afford to pay for it, don't want to pay for it, the internet is full of information.
That's true. There you
Educate
go.
yourselves
Yeah,
on
roll
it.
out.
Right.
Absolutely.
What's out
And how about a homeowner? Would you say more cameras, alert your neighbor, or the
Lights.
buddy system?
Lights on the
All of those things are good. Cameras are good.
Dogs are great.
Yes.
the best.
Very, very important to have lock your doors and windows and have solid doors, solid windows, so they're not easily accessed. Have a plan of what you're going to do, or if something happens, you're all going to go into one room, you're going to call 911. have a plan before something happens.
Right.
So you don't have to think about it, you just know what to do. And time is critical.
So it sounds like practice,
I was
practice
gonna
it out.
say,
Have a plan and
practice
practice.
it.
Go over
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And the Next Door Neighbor app, I recommend that for
Yeah.
everybody because there's a lot of good information there going on in the neighborhood.
And keeping your
warnings,
Sure,
lights
things
on.
that's part of being
lights
aware.
are great, and dogs
Right.
are great too.
Right.
Lights are
timers.
good.
Right.
Bad guys
Yeah.
don't like lights at
No,
night.
sensor lights are really good. Every time a cat walks by, the light goes
Also,
off.
the screens, you have to have them protect you, but also that you can get out of them. Because haven't they had people that have been trapped by their own security? They couldn't
Sure.
get out the window.
And when I say you need to have a plan, when something goes wrong, that plan never works 100%, so have an alternative plan in
Yeah,
case
plan
that
B,
one doesn't work.
Plan A, Plan B.
Right.
Well, when you get upset, you forget things, so.
Well, that's the reason that you run through it, you practice it like a fire drill.
Then
Yeah.
it comes back.
When you physically do it, you remember
But
it.
you know, lately we're seeing even in this area, you know, the two women that were harassed over, was it E Street, the market there? And he bothered him, and she whipped out a gun and she
Oh, the
chased him out with
recent-
it.
the
Yeah.
wo- the
And
woman
you've
who-
seen on social media, you're seeing
Yes.
people, you know, finding intruders in their garage or whatever. And here
Yeah.
comes, and it's been women lately. Here
Right.
comes, you know, pistol packing mama around the corner, you know, chasing him
Yes.
out the door with it.
Well,
Chasing
Marty,
down
we
chicken
really,
nest.
we really appreciate you
Yeah,
taking
very
the
good.
Sure, no
time
problem.
Good stuff.
to share this information. I hope the homeowners will be able to watch this a few times and start to comprehend how to protect themselves, and also small business people. And call Marty. What's your
You
phone
have
number?
phone number? Yes.
395-6,000.
Wow, easy
Easy
number.
to remember.
395-6000.
395-6000.
Thank you.
You can't remember that.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's advancedbackgroundinvestigations.com.
Perfect. All right. Keep
Yes.
Marty in mind.
It was a good information.
You know, there's a
Experienced.
couple of newscasters here locally. Remember when Cotta, a gunman, came in and put a gun to his head here? Was it Channel 47?
Their security is
Yeah.
better now.
And
It was
yeah, it was
47.
right on camera. So some of that's happened at news
right.
agencies.
Most
everything.
news agencies have pretty good security
Now
these
they do.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It's
Well,
scary.
we thank you. Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
And next week, we just want to let you know, we'll be starting the same time at 4:30 or thereabouts.
Want to give a teaser?
And we're going to...
Juneteenth.
Yes, Mickey is going to talk about Juneteenth, and she's
Right.
bringing her director.
Janice Sumler will
And
be
then
here.
Banush is going to educate us on the Armenian genocide, and her guest is...
Jeffrey Aronian, and he is the blue ribbon winner of the exhibit at the Fresno Historical Museum at the fairgrounds. He put together a great museum in pertaining to the Armenian genocide, what does it mean to Fresno?
Oh,
And the
okay.
contributions they made here.
So that'll be really
Sounds good.
interesting stuff, and we appreciate your time. And if you have any questions or want us to investigate or discuss a particular subject, give us a call, 559-226-1521. My name is Edna Collins, and you are watching Yo Soy Neighborhoods, Fresno. Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.